Today our topic is linear equations. So our learning target is how can I write and convert linear equations. Vocabulary. Slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we need to replace the y1 with a number, the m with a number, and the x1 with a number. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. That's the most common form that we use. And in this one, we replace m with a number and b with a number. And last one, standard form. This one is not used as often, but it is ax plus by equals c. And we need to replace a, b, and c with numbers. For your MCAs, you will receive a formula sheet that has all four of these located on it. But these are good to refresh our memory and make sure we know how to work with each of them. Write a linear equation in all three forms from 2 points. So, all three forms is point, slope, slope-intercept, and standard. Our 2 points are 3 and -1, so we have x1, y1, and 2 and -3, so x2, y2. We want to calculate the slope using our slope formula. So we do y2, which is -3, minus y1, which is -1, over x2, which is 2, minus x1, which is 3. If you're confused as to where I'm getting them, I'm just using the numbers from the points. -3 minus -1 becomes -3 plus 1, which is -2. 2 minus 3 is -1. Simplify that. -2 divided by -1 is +2. So our slope is 2. Choose your point. We only need one of these points to work with. Choose. Doesn't matter which one. They both have a negative number, so I'm just going to take the first one, 3 and -1, which is x1 and y1. Write the equation in point-slope form. So here I rewrote the point-slope form standard version. We need to replace y1, m, and x1 with numbers. So we do y minus y1, which is -1, equals m. We found that using our slope formula, 2, times x minus x1, which is 3. Only thing we need to fix is change this double negative into a positive, and right now we have our equation in point-slope form. So I'm going to write this over here. Y plus 1 equals 2 times x minus 3. That would be our equation in point-slope form. Now the next step to get it into the next form, because again we need to write it in all three forms, to get it to slope-intercept form, we're going to convert. We're going to use the point-slope form and we're going to change it. So the first thing we can do is distribute that 2. So we have y plus 1 comes down equals 2 times x, which is 2x, and then 2 times -3 is -6. Now slope-intercept form looks like y equals mx plus b, so we want this y to be all by itself, which means we want to move this plus 1 by doing a -1 on both sides. Y comes down, y equals 2x stays the same, and then -6 minus 1 is -7. So now we have our equation in slope-intercept form. Last piece we need is to convert to standard form. Standard form, if you remember from our vocab page, ax plus by equals c. Now the key with this one is x and y are on the same side. So when we convert, we want to move this 2x over onto the side with y. So we're going to do minus 2x on both sides, because the opposite of this positive 2x is minus. The positive 2x and the negative 2x cancel out, leaving us with just this -7. Equals, the y comes down, it's positive, so I'm going to put a plus sign in front of it, and then we have -2x. So that is our equation in standard form. So we have negative 2x plus y equals negative 7. Next piece is parallel perpendicular. So for parallel, those lines are lines that never touch. And what's special about them is they have the same slope. So same m. So for an example, y equals 2x plus 7 and y equals 2x minus 9 would be parallel because they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines are our other special case, but they cross each other at a 90-degree angle. So their slopes are what we call flipped and opposite. So for an example, y equals 1/2 x minus 3 and y equals negative 2x plus 4 would be opposites because 1/2 and negative 2 are flipped and opposite. Opposite is that one is positive and negative, and the flipped means you're flipping the fraction. So you're switching the numerator and the denominator. Last little piece is we want to practice writing parallel and perpendicular lines. So we're going to be working with this equation. First off, let's indicate our slope, which is the number next to x. So it's negative 5. We want to write an equation that is parallel, so the slope is going to stay the same, to the given equation that goes through the point 3, 6. So we know its slope is going to be negative 5 and it's going to go through the point 3, 6. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing point slope form. I have a point and I have a slope, which means point slope form is excellent for this. So we can write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M is right here, negative 5. Our x1 and our y1 we're going to get from this point. This would be x1 and y1. So x1 would be 3, and over here our y1 would be 6. Now, if they wanted in slope-intercept form, all we would have to do is convert like before. You distribute the negative 5. So we would have y minus 6 equals negative 5x plus 15. And then we would just need to get y by itself, so add 6 to both sides. And we do y equals negative 5x plus 21. These two equations are exactly the same. They're just in different forms. They would graph the same line. If you don't believe me, open up Desmos on your Chromebook, go to that website, type in both of these equations, and you will see that they are the same graph. All right, last example is we want to do the same thing, but we want this line now to be perpendicular to the given equation, so perpendicular to this equation. So our original slope was negative 5. Write that as a fraction. We want to flip it so it becomes 1 over 5 and make it the opposite. This is negative, so this one's going to be positive. So this is the slope we're going to be working with, 1/5. And it goes through the point 10, negative 7. So again, I'm looking at the information I have. I have a point. I have a slope, which means point slope form is going to be the best way to write this equation. So we set up the generic version of point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Plug in the given information, y minus y1 that we get from the point, which is negative 7, equals m, 1/5. Remember, we're using this new slope right there. And then x minus x1, which is 10. Make sure we change this double negative to a positive, and there we have our equation. Again, if the was requested that we put it in slope-intercept form, all we would have to do is again do that distribution. So we'd have y plus 7 equals 1/5 x, and then 1/5 times negative 10 would be negative 2. And then we just have to get y by itself by doing minus 7 on both sides. We get y equals 1/5 x minus 9. Again, if you want to check, These two equations would be the exact same line when graphed. And they would both be perpendicular to our given equation right up there at the top. That's all the notes that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.